I'm not a believer in the fact that forcing a number down somebody's throat is going to pay better, because I think that leads to less customers. These companies will hurt the customers, and then there's less volume. And so really, when it all pans out, if you're like going for, I need this much a mile, this much a minute, I'm not a big fan of that. What I am a fan of, and I've seen it in a lot of states' legislation, if it passes, is well, actually three, because the third one is full transparency on the receipts to the customer and the drivers, right? So, basically any line item breakdown. So it doesn't just say taxes and fees. I want the customer and the drivers to see everything. But the other thing that I've really liked, you guys might not all love this, I think it's absolutely needed, is a cap in every market. And I've read that in a lot of legislation. They do it with taxi cabs. They do it with, so like, I'll give you an example. Like, I've been on the taxi cab stand, which is a podcast, before. I know those guys pretty well. One's in Minneapolis. One's in New York. But when he did taxi driving, the New York driver, he did it in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and then he also did it in New York. He's from New York, but in Fort Lauderdale, he gave an example. Like, there were pars every night in caps. Like, so let me give you an example. Like, on a Friday night, 500 cabs could be out in Fort Lauderdale for yellow cab kind of thing. If any were tracked, that any more were out there, and trust me, the Department of Transportation, the way they look in on this stuff, because of the fines that they create, they look in on it very, like, they know. If you're like, they won't know, they know. And even with Uber and stuff, they'll have to have access to at least anonymous data that's like crowdsourced, so they can see how many cars are on the road. But they're looking at that same kind of thing, where like, in a very, like, even to these companies, a severely hefty fee will be imposed each instance, meaning every single car over the cap. So if, like, in Fort Lauderdale, like, they used to do 500 taxis, let's be kind and say they're going to allow up 700 Uber and Lyft or Uber drivers. I don't think I don't know these numbers. I can't spit them out. We're going to have to see what they are. But if they allow that, and they go, and the Department of Transportation and auditing finds them that one Friday night they had 713, they will be fined 13 instances of being over the capacity. And these fines range from, like, 25,000 to like 200,000 per instance. So if you did 13, I mean, you can, now that you might think, well, for Uber, they can kind of, no, I mean, think of just one city going 20 over, even if it's 100. I mean, that's like 100,000, I mean, think about that. Like, that's just one city. And the way Uber plays loosely, like, I could see them screwing up in many cities. So they're going to have to be very careful with caps. The only other thing that I'm even interested in are portable benefits, and that's what Pennsylvania passed. We talked about it last night. And I would definitely recommend to you guys to go look up I think I put the link in the show notes from the roundtable last night. So if you guys want to learn about what the portable benefits are, it's everything except for it didn't list unemployment. However, it looks to be like in some states, they are looking to do some kind of hybrid model where you're not an employee, you're still a hybrid independent contractor, undefined, that the companies will be paying into portable benefits, and you will receive a partial unemployment for some reasons that normal unemployment would be able to create. So, like, not every instance of unemployment will apply to you because you're not an employee, but the companies will be paying. Every state's different. Utah, right next to me, is looking at doing this portable benefits. I've been very interested in it, and we're waiting for that to pass. And then out of nowhere this week, Pennsylvania passed the exact same thing, kind of exactly as Utah. So it's just interesting. And they very much targeted DoorDash. They're very much hitting DoorDash on that one. They want DoorDash paying into these benefits. I think it's because they know that not only does DoorDash have the market share, but they know how badly DoorDash is oversaturated. So now let me get to the meat of things, and then there's going to be like another Q&A thing that I'm going to start doing for basically there's going to be some members only stuff that I'm really looking forward to, where it's, I'm not on a panel, I'm not in I'm here for questions and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try and do one of those a week. You got the podcast and then this, and then just random content potentially too. Me making beer, tuning my snowboard, which by the way, I am going snowboarding tomorrow. And I know everybody knows I always have my gear go bag ready, and it is. However, I just realized tonight that my I'm really looking forward to riding tomorrow because I'm going to do it for me. This season's been kind of strange because most of my riding has been for search and rescue, which is awesome. Um, but it's just different. It's kind of like, we have to do things. Like, I'm not fully me, but I'm going up with somebody I ride with often, and gonna shut down the season because it's getting pretty hot up even in the mountains. It was kind of a weak winter. It was good for my search and rescue, but I'm looking forward to going tomorrow. But anyway, I got to get my bags ready to actually go for fun instead of search and rescue. So it's kind of weird. But the one thing I did want to talk to you guys about, on top of some of the things that will be happening on the channel, is this telematics. So I've known about telematics for a while because Display Ride, I'm actually put them up here, some members only, but oh no, I can't. Oh well. But Display Ride, my dash cam, it has a telematics feature you can turn on or off, and it allows you to basically get a driver score. Now, you guys might even be familiar that like Allstate and some others have started doing this with apps. If you want, like, it's almost like, how good of a driver are you? But really what you're doing is installing an app onto your phone where they're literally tracking you when you're driving. So like with the telematics from Display Ride, the reason I like this the most, I can turn the feature off, but I love the feature because it doesn't report to anybody. It just sends it to me. So if it ever, never would, because I know Abdul and he said he never would do that, but but you can make it so that it is submitted to your insurance if your insurance works with telematics type reporting. I'm not going to say who I'm with, but I'm with one of the bigger name insurance companies, and they do work with telematics. They actually know of Display Ride, and they are willing to take those telematics schematics and apply them. So what it does is it says, but like I get to review it first. Whereas like some telematics, like if you download like State Farm, Allstate, like one of those apps that has it, it's just reporting it. You can't say, wait, I don't want you to see that. Like mine, I get to see it first. So my telematics score is like, it's based on how quickly do you accelerate? How quickly are you braking? It's kind of evaluating your driving. And I know none of us like that sounds super big brotherish, right? But at the same time, the reason that these insurance companies are starting to do it through the app is because they want you to be able to, the savings are huge. It's not like you're going to save 5% if your telematics score is 95 plus. You can save upward with some of the bigger insurance companies. You can save upward of 30% on insurance if you can hold a telematics score for a certain amount of time. Anyway, I wanted to tell you guys about that because that's what telematics is. The kicker here that I wanted to talk about tonight is, I know for certain, I've talked to some drivers. I don't know how many markets, but I know it's not all markets. It obviously was a very slow rollout, but it happened this week on Doordash. Do any of you have on your Doordashes in your settings somewhere? I don't, so I can't see it. I'm waiting for a screenshot to come in, but I've talked it through with a few people, including one of the engineers at Para. And Doordash has put telematics into the app, and I'm curious if any of you guys have that telematics, because if you do, realize that the same terms of service that you applied, that every time you update DoorDash app, DoorDash driver, DoorDash dasher, that you're agreeing to the terms of service. We're all familiar with this. None of us like it. But now it's inclusive to include telematics, meaning DoorDash sells off your information on the daily, right? They actually do like bulk data sales, which is like some of the worst way to sell off data to. Meaning they'll just basically sell it to everybody. Anybody who wants to pay a dime. They don't do that to the customers. They do sell off some of the customers' data, oddly, but you would think they wouldn't. But for drivers, they're selling off everything. So, worst thing that you can do is have the telematics on the DoorDash app. But everybody that I've talked to that had it said that when they did the update, it installs it in the markets that it's in right now, but it does what Uber does a lot. It defaults it to on, but you can go into the settings and turn it off. And the thing I want you to take away from this tonight is if you do notice there's a thing that says telematics, or the way you'll know, I guess, is they send a driver summary. Are you getting a driver summary when you're done dashing? If you are, there is a setting that you can go in. I don't have it again, and we don't have it in my market, so I don't know. I went into the app, I looked everywhere. It's not in there. I've updated it. It's not in there. But I know that most markets don't have it yet. But it is in surprisingly not just 5 either. It's in some markets. But you can just as easily go in there and say no. But it's like how Uber Pet was, or even Uber Teen. Like any of you guys who know me from even way back in the podcast days, like I have always opposed Uber Teen. I couldn't believe when they started allowing that. But all of those, when you would update, came defaulted as on. So you'd be receiving Uber Teen calls. And if you were just clicking, yes, I agree to the TOS and the update, just let's go, which we always do. In some of these updates, it would say things like, oh, well, now Uber Pet's on there. Okay, well, I just won't opt in. No, we opted you in. But if you want to, you can go in there and opt out. Because I remember, like, I got an Uber Pet call. I didn't even know the feature was in the app. And so and this was years ago, but I was like, wait, what? And so, because I'd heard it was coming, and then I went into settings and it was defaulted to on. Well, it's the same thing with DoorDash. They are defaulting the telematics to on. The hope is that you guys don't ever discover it. They think I guess from the people I've talked to, they're trying to make this driver summary look like they're doing you a favor or something. I need to, again, I'm waiting for all this to come in. I'm waiting for a couple things from somebody who trusts me enough to send me their direct information, because I need to see it directly. But so I see what's Tommy saying here? Yeah, like hard braking. Yes. Are you, Tommy, are you seeing it? Are you getting like a driver, whatever, I don't know, is it a driver summary? I think somebody called it that today to me. I think that's what they told me it was called, driver summary post dash. But are you getting that? I would love to know. Because if you are, you're letting them sell off that data. And here's the problem. I mean, it's already a problem that they would even sell off that. Okay, great, or not great. So, Tommy, you can go into your settings and you can turn it off. And I absolutely would if I were you, because again, the TOS allows them to sell all of your data, including that telematics. So it's bad enough that they're just selling it to everybody. But here's the biggest issue. All of the insurance companies, they're selling it to. So they now have, because Uber has or DoorDash has so much information on you, they are selling it to Allstate, State Farm, blah, 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 who might even sell it off to smaller insurance companies. So it's almost like, that Big Brother stage of like, if you ever try and transfer insurance, they'll be like, yeah, you're not a good driver. And they'll already have your telematics. And because you agreed to the TOS with DoorDash, you agreed for DoorDash to sell it on your behalf. And they say it has nothing to do with your account. So why can't they fix the app and not put this on? I lost you there. And they say it has nothing to do with your account. So why can't they fix the app and not put this on. Dude, they don't want to. They want to look, they're hoping that nobody hears what I'm talking about. They hope that you don't hear it from other people. They're hoping that let's not forget that 15% of DoorDashers are full-time gig employees. Or I shouldn't 15% of the app-based gig economy is full-time. 85% of the gig economy is 20 hours or less a week, and 60% of the gig economy platforms is under 10 hours a week. So they're really hoping on that 85%, the 20% and under, and the 10% and under. They're really hoping on those people to never care, and not even notice that it's in there, because they're going to be selling this at the choice price. But for those of us who do full-time gig work, whether it just be on DoorDash or multi-apping like most of us or whatever, it doesn't matter. Turn that crap off, because soon all the apps are going to have it. Excuse me. But we're absolutely going to have the ability to turn it off. And from what I've been told, Tommy, you can go in there and turn it off right now in the settings. If I don't know if you have your app, I'm guessing you're out working, maybe even right now, or not sure. But regardless, if you're in your app, I would like to know. I'd like to know if you can find in the settings where it says don't track my. I don't know. I don't know, because I haven't seen it yet. I just know it exists. I don't see nothing about. Yeah, you're not going to see the word telematics. I just know what it really is. I'm giving you the real name, not the cookie cutter name that DoorDash wants to disguise it behind. Because again, I don't have it. I don't see it. And if I dash, I don't get a summary. But somewhere in there, and it maybe I need to check, but maybe you have to, how occasionally, very rarely, sometimes you have to log in through a PC. So even if you're on your phone, maybe go to a browser and log into your account. Maybe it's in something like that so that it's not in the app. But there is I know for a fact, every single person I've talked to has about this, that has seen it, has the ability to turn it off. I'm waiting for some things to come in. I'm hoping they come in before tomorrow, so that tomorrow's 13 can be about that. I was actually hoping they came in tonight, because I was going to record 13 because I'm going up to the mountain, but I will record it from up there. But I'm hoping to have more information on that in terms of screenshots that I can show people and say, hey, go here, go here, go here, go here, turn this off, kind of thing. Because you guys should know that. DoorDash is selling your information. They're not giving you any. We know that. So why would you give them some of the most important data they've ever had on a driver and let them sell it? Makes no sense at all. Especially because you have the option to turn it off. Because it is clearly, if they didn't have to give you the option where you can turn it off, they wouldn't. We all know this. But there was something with all this legislation going on, it was really pushing things too far to go, we're going to spy on all the drivers and how they drive, because we are independent contractors. So therefore, they can put something into the app, Uber Pet, and default it in an update. They can put in Uber Teen and default it in an update. But the first time I see one of those offers, some people might just decline it. Like, no, dude, I'm not going to take those. But their hope is that people eventually will go, you know what? It's been slow. I'll take that. Like me, I'm just too dead set on it. So I go into the settings, and with those two, it was very easy. In the Uber driver app, you just toggle those two off. I was hoping it was as easy as a toggle in the settings, but I'm waiting to find out how. But you can get removed from the telematics program. So I don't know, I know that Rick's in here. David, I'm going to get to your Curri question in just a second. I'm going to wrap this up and just mix. I got to get all my shit packed. But I got to ask you, is anybody else seeing this besides Tommy? Because again, it's not everywhere. In fact, it's not most places, but it is surprisingly, it was launched quietly in the middle of the night, like normal, somewhere this week in a few markets. A handful. And I'm just curious, because you're not going to see the word telematics. I'm also curious, Tommy, when you get it, so when you finish a dash, does the summary come to an email, or do you get a text saying, hey, here's your driver summary? and you did bad, or like, like, what's your description of how this thing looks or what it does? Like, can you tell me? Is it just a text and it says you were doing hard braking, you drive too fast, what does it say? And while you're putting that, I'm just going to look at oh, thank you, Ellen. Yeah. Ellen's mentioning that. I don't really celebrate that kind of stuff, guys. I've been on here probably, I was thinking about it, probably over 3 years, and I'm just hitting 3K. I mean, we know a lot of people who, you know, do a DoorDash how to deliver bags to doors channel, and they get to 10,000 in a year. So that's just wasn't my strategy, but I'm a more long form guy, and I'm on a lot of platforms. So it's not just a DoorDash thing, but yeah, thank you, Ellen. I appreciate that. And yeah, the reason I did kick over the top, Mike Curri and I had a meeting today with the American Trucker Association, the ATA, and we're going to be getting truckers to do those videos that I've been asking all of you to do, which, by the way, Rick, David and Ellen, you did one. Rick and Tommy, I need videos from you guys, man. And they're in all of my videos. Like, I think almost all the videos that I've made in the show notes, it says upload your video, and it has a Dropbox link. Just do a 30 to 60-second video. Hey, my name is Steve. I live in the Denver market. I prefer to be an independent contractor because, and just, you can keep it to, because I like the flexibility of working when I decide and being my own boss. But you can also be detailed if you want. All that Mike and I are asking is that you guys keep it positive. It's been very powerful. Like, we're actually getting Mike takes everything that we get, that I'm compartmentalizing for him, and he's getting it into the hands of Congress in like real time, sometimes same day. So like, if something comes in and there's something like, where was it? Portland. We had a great one from Nathaniel, a friend of ours up in Portland, who submitted a video, and we had a Portland legislator having to vote on some gig measures up there in Oregon. And they said, they were contacting Mike, and they're like, what am I supposed to do with these again? I don't understand this ballot measure. What the hell is this? And he said, well, let's listen. Why don't you watch this? And he watched a testimonial from Nathaniel in Portland, and he was blown away. He's like, oh, wait, I don't want to go for hurting that. He should have the right to do that. But he was confused by the language, this is my point, even the politician. So these are very powerful. And that's what Mike and I will be getting across to you guys. But does Curri have large order frame? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Curri has two sides of the app, David. They have Curri Driver, which is hot shot, scheduled, and even long hauls like I do, but for SUV down to Prius. And then pickup truck with pipe rack, cargo van, sprinter van, box truck, and even all the way up to 18 wheelers, which no other company that I know of, at least in the apps I use, and I use a lot of these last miles, but I'm familiar with them, do the 18. They don't go that high. So Curri's got this whole other thing they're working on too. But they have two sides. So they have the side where I'm on, where orders actually come through, completely transparent. You've seen me do it on last mile. I put them up here. And then they have like the side that like Gig Geezer's on, where you actually bid on jobs. So like a sprinter van, I'm sure you're familiar. Sprinter van can fit 2 4x4 pallets. And I think that you can go up to 4 or even 5 feet high. That's part of the reason why Sprinter van's taller. And they slide in real nicely. So you can get 2, is it 2 or it's got to be 2. Yeah, you can't get a third pallet in there. No, 2 pallets. So, you can get 2 pallets in there and have enough headroom too, where you can get 2 full pallets. So on the bidding side, it's a lot different. But here's the only downside is that you can only be on one side or the other. And so like Geezer, in fact, he works so many of these apps. He was like, in my market, I do bid on Curri things, but people underbid me on the bidding side. He's like, I might want to try, because he obviously can switch over to the other side. You just can't have both available to you. So he can switch over and say, hey, I'd rather be on the offer side. So yeah, there is freight for sure. That's why, even if you weren't onboarded, my email to Alice. Here's what I'll do. Actually, I'll do it right now in real time. See, this is what's cool about a members only chat. I don't have to worry about killing a minute here or something. But I'm going to forward you this. And you'll see what I wrote to the person I wrote to about taking a look at your email. Because where is it? I know where it is. But I'm going to send it to you. Obviously, let me see. Hopefully that won't show. Well, you're going to see somebody's name and email. It would not, it ain't gonna hurt me, but it would not be wise to email that person because they might be like, where the hell did you get my email? But my guess is you're going to hear from this person anyway soon, so you might as well get familiar with the email, because I'm going to forward it to you right now. And let you look. Yeah, we get your email. Okay, copy. Okay, so yeah, just ignore the email that it's to. I mean, I'll tell you, it says hi Alice, and then it says a friend of mine, David, outside Dallas. You know, I didn't want to. I just put outside Dallas. I know you put some other markets too, but just kind of ignore that, and there you go. I just sent it to you, so you'll see what I wrote to her, and she will get back to you. Alice and I are very close, very close. I'm looking into a 24-foot trail. Oh yeah. You can do trailers too. Yeah, absolutely. And but I mean, I could tell from your email you were familiar with the terms and stuff. So yeah, you can absolutely have all that stuff. Yep. Wait, did I miss one? Yeah, flatbed. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, they have all of this stuff. Like they love all this stuff. In fact, if you go to Curri.com, I think you can go to drivers and see all the different vehicles, but really all you're going to see is everything. they take everything. Yeah, like hard. Yeah, okay. And they say, okay, wait, we already saw that. It's on the app after you end your dash. So on the app, I know that I don't have the dashes you guys do, because it's just I've never loved the app like you do. But so I'm in the app, okay, and I end a dash, and then what? It just pops up on the screen as like an overlay, or does it like take over the screen? Is there a way that you can go back and revisit an old day's stats? I'm just looking to know this kind of stuff, because then I can help figure out how to really conquer getting over this stuff. Oh, it comes up. So it just kind of like overlays, right? Is what you're saying. And it's got like a little X, like a lot of things, where you can close it when you're done, but it's just kind of overlaying. And it's got like, hey, here's your scores, jackass. You did bad. Is there a number associated with it? Is there like a score? Or are they not showing you that? Are they being really general? I'm just trying to get it figured out. I have a earnings summary in my Doordash app. You mean one that pops up? The one I'm talking about, Ellen, is how you're driving. It's super scary that they're doing this. I mean, again, I've been told by the people that I know well, there is a way to turn this off. I just need to get all the emails sent to me so I can tell you guys exactly how to do it right. But like, I wouldn't care about that. I mean, no harm, no foul, unless you're seeing something in this, like, why would they show me this? Like, that's weird. But I mean, at the same time, like, to me, I wouldn't care. Like, oh, here's your earnings summary. Okay, great. But if you're telling me I'm braking too hard, or I'm accelerating too fast, or why are you speeding so much? I have a bit of a problem, because you're kind of invading my privacy a bit, even though I agree to the terms of to the terms of service to work on the app. We all know how that goes. It shows like normal is 4, this time 2. So you are negative. What the fuck? What? Is it cumulative? Does it keep adding to, like, the next time you drive, if you get a 4, which would be 100%, does it take that negative 50 and use 100 and average? What the hell's going on here? Is it a new metric that is being averaged against every time you drive? That's screwed up, dude. That's really screwed up. And again, luckily I know, I just don't know how yet. And again, if I had it in my phone today, I would have actually, even though it was super busy week for me, I would have taken the time to actually walk through it with somebody that I know had it happen to them as well. So I would have, if I had it, I would be able to, because then I'd just do a screen recording and show you guys, hey, turn this the hell off. I mean, you're basically, it's becoming one of the most valuable pieces of information that there are on drivers. So they're selling it and making a lot of money on you. I mean, they're already selling your data, but data's gotten old. People these days, it's like, it's kind of like the apps after a honeymoon period, like it'll say, you're being paid all this great money. Oh, not anymore, or after oversaturation. But like, yeah, this ain't right. I had a problem with my Dropbox. Oh, okay. You don't need a Dropbox account, Rick. The way I set it up, that link doesn't need you to sign in or anything. It takes you right to my Dropbox, and it just asks first name, last name, and I think email. And that's just so that, I mean, you're not logging in even. It's just so that you can submit the video. Yeah, you don't have to log in. I made it so that nobody does. It has like a line, a red on for braking, and a green one for so that's the only metric is braking and acceleration. I mean, like, the telematics I know goes pretty far. It's like, you turn aggressively, or and I mean, there's all kinds of specs. You follow too closely to cars. Now again, that's display ride using a camera too. So I don't know. But I allow them to do that. And in fact, I like it because I can log into my DisplayRite account and it is set to private, but I'm using it. So only I can see it. I mean, DisplayRite can too, but they don't sell your data because you're paying them for a service. So he even has an agreement. He doesn't sell your data at all. So everything's private. However, you can turn it to public if you start noticing you have this great score. And actually then, you can actually allow them to send it out to insurance companies, and actually it'll come back through the display ride like, hey, you could be saving a certain amount on insurance, not advertising on the camera, but in an email if you qualify. So it'll already be like a pre-qualified thing. I'm not to the point I want to share it yet, but I do like seeing it privately because it does a lot of things. Yeah, that's right, Ellen. You do not need a Dropbox account. No worries, man. I'm always happy to help, bro. Always. Yeah, no, okay, you just got so did you read, so you read what I wrote, right? Probably makes sense. In there, I talked about the reactivation thing too, because Alice will know what I'm talking about. I'm wondering if that's what happened to you, that you were activated, because again, the support level you were at when you got that response probably didn't know. But I'm wondering if you got soft deactivated because you didn't take one in 90 days. Because here's another thing I've known: markets that are slow or just building out and just allowing drivers on, maybe they haven't even seen any offers yet, but they have the partnerships in place. So it's like everybody gets soft deactivated because there's no offers for 90 days when they're launching in a city. So it's kind of strange, but all you have to do is email reactivation@curri.com. At this point, I don't think you need to, because you saw the email. That's why I was sent, unless you already did. I didn't see. I saw you had emailed me. I didn't see if you already had. If you have, no biggie. But Alice has the control for that. So she can go in there and see exactly what's going on. And my guess is because I as you saw, I forwarded your email to her and said, I know he's already sent this to the Curri team, but I wanted to kick it up to you because you really know what's going on. So again, not that the Curri team doesn't. I'm just you guys know I try and help. There was a time when I was able to do bumping people up the list, and even that was very rough. I have a great relationship with all the team, but I don't even know where that sits anymore. I just don't do it because a lot of people signed up and never took any. So to me, I was like, why am I bothering? Why am I? Because people were nagging me so much, and then I'd get them on, and they wouldn't do anything. So, and it wasn't because they weren't getting offers. They were just like, well, just, I think a lot of people are uncomfortable jumping in and doing that. So, and to be honest, when I'm out working gig apps, I'm out to make money. I mean, I know we all are, but that's my one and only goal. I'm not of the nature like, oh, I like rideshare. I mean, I did rideshare for years, did over 20,000 rides between the two platforms. So I did rideshare for years. Okay. But I've done food delivery. I don't like it as much. But whatever pays the most for my time on the hours I want to work, that's what I'm going to do. That's simple because I am looking to make the most money in the hours I'm willing to work, but I'm also willing to put in some muscle. And with that, I'll tell all you guys, you don't need to unload or load with Curri unless it has a specific tag that you do. I just won't accept people's help. I unload and load almost everywhere I go. They're like, hey, you want help loading that in? Or hey, want us to unload that? I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'm do my work. Yeah, it just pops up after the dash. And yes, you can. Okay, so it's just like a floating. It's just like a floating overlay. But is there nowhere to go back and look at previous ones, or is it also showing up in your scoring metrics now, like with acceptance rate, completed deliveries, all that shit? Does it now have a line item in there that says you're a bad driver or whatever the hell it's saying? Because that's another factor. Like, why are they doing this? I mean, I get why. Here's why. They're hoping that a lot of people don't turn it off and they get to sell that data. That's the only reason. I don't think they're using it against drivers or anything. I don't know. But let me see. What else do we got here? Because then I'm going to shut this down for the night. Well, let's see. The new feature they have on Doordash shows the earnings, and you can go back, I believe, until. Okay. I'll screen. Yeah, okay. I'd appreciate that. I got somebody else doing it for me too, but in case whichever can come in first, dude, that'd be great. I'd love to see what it looks like. As a commercial trucker, we've had to deal with the telematic car. Dude, I've known about it for a while. That's why, again, I like it with Display Ride because I like understanding where it's going. And I like Display Ride because, man, it takes everything into account. It'll say I was riding the line too close, but it's not getting reported to anybody. That's for me. That's for me only. And since telematics is out there, I would much rather understand it than companies like DoorDash is doing start sneaking it into the app and using it on me. Yeah. So I see what you're saying here, David. But I guess the big question becomes, why are they doing it on DoorDash? I mean, what they need to monitor how drivers are accelerating for dollar base pay? Really? Come on, man. We know what they're doing. They're selling your data. And now now that data isn't worth what data was. I mean, normal data is only worth like 2% of what it was 4 years ago. So people want telematics. They'll pay big time for that. So of course DoorDash is like, hey, we're going to do telematics on you now. It only shows those two. Okay. The red and okay. So the acceleration and the braking. Yeah. Buckle went out of business, Tommy. So did the other company that was Buckle was operating in a handful of states, but there was another company. We had him on the round table, even the CEO of, gosh, what was it called? It was only in the state of Illinois. It was just like Buckle though. And actually they were doing a little bit better than Buckle. So, but yeah, Buckle isn't around anymore. There is a new one coming up. I guess I can say it here. We're in April. I can say it now. Watch for a company called Found. I'll be having them on the podcast, the CEO here in early May, but I think that they're launching right after tax day. In Found, they have the ability to do all of your taxes quarterly, save you a ton of money based on your multi-apping gig work, but also they're offering insurance packages too. So we'll get to that when there's something to get to about it. Yeah, Doordash, Grubhub, Uber Eats. Yeah, okay. Right. Right, but Grubhub and Uber Eats, as far as I know, that they haven't deployed telematics anywhere in the United States. DoorDash has. DoorDash has now deployed it. And Tommy, I mean, you know it because you're seeing it, so you know what I'm talking about. No, it's not. Okay, so yeah, you can't even see old scores. So what does it matter when it says whatever the heck you were saying about negative 50%? You whatever made that happen. Like, hey, you got negative 50. Where does that go? What is that supposed to? I guess here's my point. What is that supposed to do for the average driver who didn't just hear everything I was explaining about telematics? Like before I said all this, Tommy, and you were getting those, what was it doing for you? Or what were you thinking when you saw it? Were you like, what the hell's this? Or why are you showing this to me? Or was there some kind of value where like, that's cool, man. I understand what you're saying. I was breaking a little bad tonight. I'm glad you gave me a heads up. See, I don't see being like that about anything. So I'm wondering how I'm wondering how they present it to make you think, hey man, you really want to see this. No, I don't. I know exactly what you're doing. The ratings page are the same. Yeah, okay. Have a good yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm off too. Again, I got to get all this ready. And I said this would be a 15-20 minute stream, but I'm 52 minutes. But thank you guys. I guess they think it will make me more aware of how I'm doing. But we all know how DoorDash is. It's not going to help you. They're not going to be helpful. They're going to be mean and they're going to give you low ball scores, making you feel like a bad driver all the time. I mean, everybody should recognize there's something behind this, even if you haven't caught wind of the telematics part yet. Like you should, when you first see it, again, I haven't seen it. That's why I was wondering if they put a pretty bow on it and made it look like something you'd be interested in. But okay, that's all I got for tonight, you guys. Thank you very much.